Hello and welcome back to Arsenal Domination, where it has so far been a very quiet international break from an Arsenal perspective. That is a really good thing. You don't want to sort of see a flurry of news coming out overly during the international break, because inevitably, or invariably, I should say, it is bad news. There is still a couple of games still to be played that our players are involved in. Hopefully, they will come through those and return to Arsenal unscathed ahead of the match this weekend against Fulham. But sort of the most sort of noteworthy story in the last couple of days, and I think less of a story, sort of more of a rumor, but it has sort of been given a little bit of credence by comments coming out in Brazil that Gabriel Jesus could well be not just a sell from Arsenal, but he may potentially have suitors over in Brazil who would be interested in taking him from Arsenal in January when the transfer window reopens. No surprise in the summer that Arsenal didn't get any offers for Gabriel Jesus. Reports that Andrea Berta was keen to move him on and ship some of his wages out. But the fact that there was no suitor, understandable. We know that Gabriel Jesus is a very, very good player. But his injury history in recent years, since he did that serious knee injury before the last World Cup, have plagued him, and he wasn't fit over the summer. He was, still several months away from being able to play again, looking like December at the earliest for him, and therefore no surprise there were no suitors. However, in January, Arsenal reportedly open to doing business, and there may, as I mentioned, be suitors in Brazil. So, do we think that's likely to happen, or do I think it's likely to happen, and do I think Arsenal should do it? In terms of do I think it's likely to happen, I think a lot of this will depend on Gabriel Jesus, and I think that will also sort of dictate what Arsenal do. We saw Kivior sort of keen to move on and play football, and Arsenal were open to that and helped support a sale. That could be the case with Jesus. But I think more likely, if he was to leave, I think it would be a loan option where some of his wages would be covered. Given his injury history, I don't think many teams will be keen to play a transfer fee for him, given they don't know how long he'll be able to play and what condition he'll be in when he comes back, because he will be coming off another ACL and pretty much a year out of football. In terms of from an Arsenal perspective, obviously financially it would be good if you could get a sale, but as I say, even if you get a loan and get some of his wages out, that would be massively helpful. But I think from a squad perspective, and given Arsenal are going for multiple trophies, I think he is a really useful player to have around. He can play on the right, he can play as a number 9, which I think is really his position. And Arsenal may well need him towards the end of the season, depending on where things are. He also knows what it takes to win trophies, something that Arsenal do lack a little bit of in this side, if we're honest. So I think Jesus staying would be useful for Arsenal, but let me know what you think.